Throughout history, some individuals have stood out not only for their extraordinary achievements, but also for their eccentricity and the unique ways they left a mark on the world. These unusual figures often defied convention, embodying traits and behaviors that earned them both fascination and infamy. Here are some of history's most unconventional and intriguing personalities, now in even greater detail. Gregori Rasputin, the Mad Monk of Russia. Gregori Rasputin is one of the most enigmatic and controversial figures in Russian history. Born in the remote Siberian village of Pokrovskoye in 1869, Rasputin came from a peasant family and spent much of his early life working on the land. As a young man, he underwent a religious transformation after visiting a monastery, leading him to become a wandering mystic. Rasputin claimed to have spiritual visions and healing abilities, which brought him both followers and detractors. Rasputin rose to prominence after being introduced to Tsar Nicholas II and Tsarina Alexandra in 1905. The royal couple was desperate for a cure for their son Alexei, who suffered from hemophilia, a genetic disorder that caused excessive bleeding. Rasputin's prayers and unconventional methods appeared to ease Alexei's suffering, which cemented his place within the royal court. However, his influence over the Romanovs attracted suspicion and hostility from the Russian nobility, who saw him as a dangerous manipulator. Despite his reputation as a holy man, Rasputin's personal life was rife with scandal. Known for his charisma, he was often accused of engaging in drunken debauchery and illicit relationships. His enemies used these rumors to paint him as a corrupt and immoral figure, further alienating him from Russian society. Rasputin's assassination in 1916 remains one of the most infamous events in Russian history. A group of conspirators, including Prince Felix Yusupov, plotted to kill him in an elaborate plan involving poison, gunshots, and drowning. Even in death, Rasputin's life and legacy continued to captivate the public, symbolizing the decadence and instability of the Romanov dynasty in its final years. Mad Jack Churchill, the soldier who fought with a sword and bow lieutenant, Colonel John Malcolm Thorpe. Fleming Churchill, better known as Mad Jack Churchill, stands as one of the most eccentric and fearless soldiers in modern military history. Born in 1906 in Surrey, England, Churchill had a flair for adventure from an early age. After graduating from the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, he was commissioned into the British Army and soon gained a reputation for his unorthodox methods and bold personality. During World War II, Churchill's bravery and unconventional weaponry made him a legend. While most soldiers relied on rifles and machine guns, Churchill famously carried a long bow, a Scottish broadsword, and a set of bagpipes into battle. In 1940, during the Battle of France, he made history by achieving one of the last recorded kills with a longbow, shooting a German soldier from a distance. One of Churchill's most famous exploits occurred during a raid in Norway, where he led his troops ashore while playing the bagpipes. His fearless leadership inspired his men, and his preference for traditional weapons became a symbol of his defiance and individuality. In 1944, after being captured by German forces during a mission in Yugoslavia, Churchill was sent to the Sachsenhausen concentration camp. However, his resilience shone through as he managed to escape and make his way back to Allied lines. Churchill's post-war life was just as colorful. He took up surfing, became a champion archer, and continued to march to the beat of his own drum. His famous quote, "Any officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed," perfectly encapsulates his unique approach to life and war. Diogenes of Senop, the cynical philosopher. Diogenes of Senop, born in the 4th century BCE in the Greek city of Sinope, was a philosopher who took the principles of cynicism to their most extreme form. Rejecting societal norms, material wealth, and conventional living, Diogenes became a wandering ascetic who believed in living a life of virtue in accordance with nature. Diogenes' lifestyle was intentionally provocative. He chose to live in a large ceramic jar, often mistaken for a barrel, in the marketplace of Athens, eschewing conventional housing. He owned almost nothing, carrying only a cloak, a staff, and a small bag. When he saw a child drinking water with their hands, he discarded his cup, saying, "A child has beaten me in simplicity." One of Diogenes' most famous encounters was with Alexander the Great. According to legend, when Alexander visited him and offered to grant any wish, Diogenes simply replied, "Stand out of my sunlight." This response exemplified his disdain for power and wealth, earning him admiration and scorn in equal measure. Diogenes also used his wit to challenge hypocrisy and pretension. He roamed Athens during the day with a lantern, claiming to be searching for an honest man. His sharp criticisms of society and his unconventional behavior inspired later philosophical movements, including Stoicism. Diogenes remains a symbol of radical individualism and the pursuit of truth. Tarare, the insatiable glutton. Tarare, born in rural France in the late 18th century, was a man whose insatiable appetite and bizarre eating habits made him a medical mystery. From a young age, Tarare demonstrated an extraordinary capacity for food, often consuming meals meant for several people. His voracious hunger eventually led his family to abandon him, forcing him to make a living as a traveling performer. Tarare's acts included eating live animals, stones, and even inedible objects like corks and coins. His performances earned him notoriety, but his condition puzzled medical professionals. During the French Revolutionary Wars, Tarare was recruited by the military as a courier, swallowing secret documents to be retrieved later. Despite his usefulness, Tarare's condition caused significant challenges. His extreme hunger made him a liability, and his foul odor and unusual eating habits alienated those around him. After his death, an autopsy revealed that his stomach and intestines were abnormally large, but the exact cause of his condition remains unknown. Tarare's life serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of human biology and the struggles faced by those with rare medical conditions. History is filled with individuals who dared to be different, leaving behind legacies that range from inspiring to baffling. These unusual figures remind us that the human experience is vast and varied, and sometimes it's the most unconventional people who make the biggest impact. Who among these figures do you find the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments below.